What's going on, guys? Gilly Rice Comics here, taking a break from my deep, dark fulfillment. This past week, I've been shipping the Deep Dark comic book, and I know I should have a copy here. So I've been busy shipping out the Deep Dark, our Lovecraftian horror zine from Call of the Void Comics. An imprint that me and JL Giles are undertaking, and we finished the book, and I've been shipping these out all week. Big shout out to the USPS for working. They're on the front lines, making sure America is receiving their mail, and it's been incredible. And basically this past week is just me packaging, shipping, getting these books out to you guys. So in the meantime, I need to relax myself. I need my own little escape. And what I wanted to do here was just share something, a book that the way I found it was almost incredible. And I really, really, really wanted to give you guys an example of diversity done right? Because every time we talk about the big two, and, they're like, hey, we're for diversity, we're for this, we're for that. Okay, so if you are for all this diversity and representation, how come I see awesome, amazing indie books, and in this case, a Lucha Libre style comic that I read in its entirety, and I haven't enjoyed a comic like this in quite a while. It's called La Mano del Destino, The Hand of Destiny. And it's done by Gonzo, and his promotion is called Castle and Key Publication. And if you like wrestling, if you like a story with twists and turns and awesome, no holds barred wrestling action, then you definitely have to check out La Mano del Destino. It's a 6-issue arc, and during these times, these crazy times, it's good to have some good, good comic book entertainment in the palm of your hands. And I remember seeing on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook that much. I usually post more on Twitter, but I mean, Facebook is happening. They do have some cool stuff out there, comic groups or whatnot. And I don't know why. I think I went on Facebook just to make a quick post, and I saw Jay Gonzo, and we were friends, and I had seen this book before, and I wanted to back it. And I think he was just selling it outright. I think this was already done. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check inside here. This thing was put out. Let me see. I can't even see. 2016. It's almost 4 years ago. Okay. Jesus Christ. 4 years ago. I don't know. And this was the third printing that he did. But this guy, he's a grinder. He's an artist, and his writing skill it's on the same level as his art, to be honest with you. I was blown away. I'm like, who is this guy? And I feel like this is the type of stuff that Marvel or DC should be looking at. And everyone needs a fresh voice. Everyone deserves a story. And when I look at La Mano del Destino, I'm like, why isn't this guy like, this should be like everywhere? If you look at the covers, there's an homage to the older books, right? They have like little stickers here with "See the secret past that shaped our hero." In this issue, they give you a little brief on what you're gonna find in the issue. All new action. It's such a throwback. It's unbelievable. But before I go any further, La Mano del Destino, Jay Gonzo, Castle and Key. When we talk about diversity, these are the kind of stories that I want to see. If you saw Coco, the Pixar movie, I enjoyed it, and maybe you might just feel disconnected, like who cares about this Mexican story? Like, okay, that could be your perspective, no problem. But if you take a moment to actually sink into that story, you will come away with understanding, like, hey, wow, there's a lot that's familiar here, even though it looks different. with La Mano del Destino, if you grew up on wrestling, man, you have a respect for the Lucha Libre, right? The Lucha Libre wrestler, right? The Luchador, right? You've seen Rey Mysterio Jr. There's the Blue Demon from Mexico. There's El Santo. There's a lot, right? So here's a story of La Mano del Destino, and if you just look at the artwork, I'm just telling you, man, this is a treat. This is a freaking treat. I call this a hidden gem. Guys, if you like comic books, and you like a wrestling story, I'm just telling you, this thing, it has there's a lot of history in here. There's a lot of culture in here, even with wrestling culture. And there's a great wrestling story in here as well. Promoters, factions, the legend behind the mask, what happens if you're unmasked. It's a great, I'm just telling you, man, this story for me hit me in all the right places. And I was like a kid reading this story. Like this is how I felt like when I would be a kid and I'd find like a Daredevil story in a spinner rack or a Spider-Man story, and I just get it and I start reading it. It gave me that type of wonderment, that type of joy. It charmed me. It took me to another place, and it's just incredible. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane. He even has a letters and column. I mean, this if this came out in 2016, that's 4 years removed, right? I mean, this look at this. He even has something here like how to make your own little paper wrestler. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to cut this book, but I mean, just the fact that he went that far, this deserves more eyes. These are the kind of things out here that we don't see, the kind of books that deserve the attention that will never get the attention. And then, the big two will peddle out some trash to us, and they're like, oh, but diversity, you're against diversity. Nah. We just want diversity done right. You can't, it's like the boy who cried wolf, man. You can't just say, yeah, we're for diversity. But then, like, we're seeing, like, yeah, man, what type of diversity are you peddling, right? We have here a Lucha Libre story. It's drawn and written by I want to say Mexican-American Jay Gonzo. This guy's amazing. Every book here, he starts out with a cool little quote. It takes you to the place, when comics were fun. That's what I had when I read this book. Castle and Key Productions. That's the name of his brand, his label. But again, man, this is a beautiful piece of storytelling in comic book form that I feel, is worth your dollars. I wouldn't recommend anything I wouldn't pay for myself. I saw this dude make a post on Facebook. He was literally offering all these 6 issues for $20, I think, or $25. Like, are you kidding me? This is amazing work. I want to support indie work. I want to support, guys that are in the trenches, grinding out hard books. I support it, and I'm of the same ilk. That's what I do with crowdfunding. When you guys back my stuff, you're backing a blue collar, ambitious, hungry storyteller who's in it not for the glory, who's in it to really make good stories and do right by his fans, right? So, if I'm showing you too much spoilers, I'm sorry. Like, we even got female wrestlers here. we go there, man. This is just, it's a fun read. And I mean, if you check this book out, if you buy this book, and if you ever make like through Facebook or whatever, if you ever make contact with Jay Gonzo, tell him Gilly sent you there. Say, hey, Gilly, he makes comics, and he did, I saw he did a video on your book, and dude, you got an amazing book. I wanted to back it. Because again, man, comics, I'm in it for everybody, right? I'm not the type of dude who I will promote great comics. And when I see stuff that comes in my way and it just knocks my socks off, I want to share it. I'm not the type of dude that doesn't want to share a cool comic to someone because, I'm afraid he might, get my backers, or I'm afraid he might get my audience. I'm not for that. The consumer deserves to know what's out there, and, so they can buy it, right? And a lot of times these hidden gems like this, if you guys heard of this and maybe I'm too late to the party, then okay, maybe it's just me. But I was just like, I can't go anymore. This is just amazing. And his last 6 issue, he did a double pager, 44 pages. Like, that's what I wanted to do with Under the Flesh. The last page, I wanted it to be a double comic. I mean, this is just amazing. This is what deserves to be bagged and boarded, and this needs to be put up in a trade paperback. I emailed Jay Gonzo after I read this. I said, dude, this is amazing. It was inspirational. It was motivational. And I said, you got to keep doing what you're doing. I said, this story definitely needs a trade paperback. Guys, do me a favor. If you love wrestling, if you love comics, I mean, Lucha Libre and superheroes, they go hand in hand. I mean, there was a thing, you know, with wrestling, they were their identity, right? That was who they were. They never were unmasked, and unmasked, it's a thing of shame, right? And, you know, they were who they were. Even in public, they'd be who they were. Like, wherever you go, you'd almost never see them, even in real wrestling, take off the mask. It's just like, it's sacred. It's such a beauty of wrestling culture, of the Mexican Lucha Libre culture. It's amazing. You know, I grew up on wrestling, and I have a soft spot for Lucha Libre, big time. You know, amazing wrestlers like Eddie Guerrero, who are just, you know, just ahead of their game and just so technical and of such high order and class. I mean, I remember seeing a wrestling match between Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, or it could have been Dean Malenko. I think it was Chris Benoit before he was, you know, in WWE, and it was just them two wrestling, and it was like a 30-minute, just, oh my gosh, an extravaganza, wrestling extravaganza, reversals, showmanship. It was just insane. And this is where that takes me to, as well as also a great place for comics for me, that spinner rack. It was everything for me. Guys, please do yourselves a favor. If you have a couple dollars, check out Castle and Key publication, or look up Jay Gonzo on Facebook. Hit him up a message. Hey, Gilly sent me. I want your book. Where do I got to go? And I want it signed. He'll sign them for you. You know, when I caught that Facebook message so randomly. It was like, I don't even know why I was on Facebook that second. I just went on, and the first thing I saw was this, and I said yes. I emailed him, and he sent it to me. I got it like 4 or 5 days later, and I read it that same day. I went through I couldn't wait. That's what I love about comics. It's that feeling. And as a creator, that's who I am. And even as a fan, it's who I am. So anyway, guys, definitely check out La Mano del Destino. Let me know in the comments if you see this. What do you think? Do you think it's something cool? Is this something that you'd spend your money on? Is this an example of diversity done right? Why isn't this being published by Image? Why isn't Dark Horse putting this out? I mean, why not? You know, that's what I wonder. I mean, I'm just asking myself, in the day and time where everything is about, diversity. Well, what the hell? You guys are falling asleep big too. You got awesome stuff like this slipping right under your damn nose. What's going on? Anyway, guys, this is Gilly Writes Comics here. I'll be crowdfunding a new book in May. Definitely check it out. Please like and subscribe to the channel. You guys make me go. You are my ticking clock. You are my heartbeat. You are everything for me. I appreciate you guys. Till next time. See that thumb? Peace. Later.